The 2024 election, a nation divided. Two candidates locked in a battle for the soul of America. Vice President Kamala Harris and former President Donald Trump. With just 96 hours left, the polls are a statistical dead heat. Every rally, every speech, every handshake could be the difference between victory and defeat. The tension is palpable. The stakes have never been higher. America is on edge. This isn't just about policies anymore, it's about fundamental values. Can Harris unite a fractured nation still reeling from the tumultuous Trump years? Can Trump recapture the lightning in a bottle that propelled him to victory in 2016? Only time will tell. The final countdown has begun. Both campaigns have had their share of missteps. Trump, known for his off-the-cuff remarks, has once again courted controversy. His recent comments about Puerto Rico, though quickly walked back, could alienate voters in key states like Pennsylvania. Harris, meanwhile, has faced criticism for her perceived lack of charisma and struggles to connect with working-class voters.
But both candidates have also shown resilience. Harris, after a shaky start, has found her footing, delivering powerful speeches on issues like healthcare and climate change. Trump, despite facing multiple legal challenges, continues to energize his base with his populist message. The question is, which gaffes will matter most to voters on Election Day?
No demographic is more crucial in this election than Latino voters. In states like Arizona and Nevada, their votes could very well determine the outcome. Traditionally a Democratic stronghold, the Latino vote is now considered more fluid, with Trump making inroads by appealing to conservative values and economic anxieties.
Harris has responded by emphasizing her own family's immigrant story and highlighting Trump's hardline immigration policies. She's also zeroed in on issues like healthcare and education, hoping to mobilize Latino voters concerned about their families' futures. The battle for the Latino vote is fierce, and the stakes couldn't be higher.
This election has been light on policy, heavy on personality. Trump has resurrected his playbook from 2016, labeling Harris as weak and incompetent. He's also revived his attacks on the media, painting them as the enemy of the people, and sowing distrust in democratic institutions.
Harris has largely refrained from engaging in personal attacks, choosing instead to focus on Trump's record. She's hammered him on his handling of the COVID-19 pandemic, his tax cuts for the wealthy, and his attempts to overturn the 2020 election results. The question for voters, will they be swayed by fear and anger, or will they choose hope and unity?
Section 5. 7 states, 1 nation. The Battleground. The election will likely come down to a handful of battleground states: Arizona, Nevada, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Georgia, North Carolina, and Michigan. Both campaigns are pouring resources into these states, blanketing the airwaves with ads and dispatching surrogates to rally their bases.
Each state has its own unique political landscape. Pennsylvania, with its mix of urban and rural voters, is always a toss-up. Arizona, once reliably Republican, is now considered a swing state thanks to its growing Latino population. And Wisconsin, a state Trump narrowly won in 2016, could be pivotal once again.
The battle for these 7 states will determine the fate of the nation. Section 6. The early bird gets the vote. Record turnout in 2024. One thing is already clear. Americans are engaged in this election like never before. Early voting numbers have shattered records, with millions already casting their ballots.
This surge in early voting is driven by a number of factors, including the pandemic, expanded access to voting, and the high stakes of this election. Democrats are hoping that the high turnout, particularly among young people and minorities, will benefit them. Republicans, meanwhile, are counting on their base to turn out in droves on Election Day.
The record early voting numbers make it difficult to predict the outcome, but one thing is certain: every vote will count. Section 7. The weight of history. A nation holds its breath. The final 96 hours. A nation holds its breath. The weight of history hangs heavy in the air. The decisions made in these next few days will reverberate for generations to come. Will America choose Kamala Harris, the first woman and first person of color to be elected president? Will it return Donald Trump to the White House, setting the stage for a potential second term? The world is watching, waiting to see which path America will choose. The tension is palpable. The stakes have never been higher. The countdown to history has begun. Section 8. What happens next? Scenarios for a nation on edge. The possibilities are endless. A decisive Harris victory, ushering in a new era of progressive policies. A narrow Trump win, plunging the country further into division. A contested election with legal challenges and accusations of fraud.
One thing is certain, The road ahead will be bumpy. The divisions in this country run deep, and they won't be healed overnight. But regardless of the outcome, America will have to find a way to move forward, to bridge the divides that threaten to tear it apart.
The world is watching, the future is uncertain. The only thing we know for sure is that the next 96 hours will be unforgettable.